is Your Life, an American television tradition. And now, here he is, Mr. This Is Your Life himself, Ralph Edwards.
Our teenagers today are molded by many influences, some profound, some lighthearted, each important in its way. And one of those lighthearted influences is popular music. Right now, the curtain in our This Is Your Life studio is going up on an exciting group of people. Without their seeing us for a moment, let's take a look at them through a camera. Now, there they are. Favorite popular young singers, Frankie Avalon, Andy Williams, Fabian, and Connie Francis. There's famous television disc jockey Dick Clark and educator Dr. F. Willard Robinson of the Los Angeles City Schools. One of them is about to be our guest of honor on This Is Your Life, but he doesn't know it yet. He thinks he's about to take part in a panel discussion of teenage music. Let's go in and surprise him. Excuse me, my name's Ralph Edwards, and hi, y'all. I've met all you other panel members, but until this moment, I haven't had the pleasure of meeting you and saying to you, Dick Clark. Hi, Dick. Musical star maker, America's #1 disc jockey, host. Oh, my, he's become a spokesman for the great, wholesome majority of American teenagers. Tonight, Dick, this is your life. All right. Dick, these friends of yours here have helped us surprise you. Our thanks to all of you singing stars and our sneaky fellas and girls that you are. And to you too, Dr. Robinson of the Los Angeles City Schools. Thank you very much, Dr. F. Willard Robinson.
No wonder he wasn't worried about this.
Yeah, he wasn't worried about why should he? He's not going to be hurt. Dick Clark, if you'll step down, we'll find out why these friends on stage with you and those in our studio audience and millions of others across the country think you're such a great guy. Yeah, but he didn't explain this one, did he?
It's very vague.
Dick Clark, this is your life, the life of one of today's outstanding television personalities. As master of ceremonies of 2 nationally televised record and dance shows, American Bandstand on weekdays from Philadelphia, and the Dick Clark Show on Saturday nights from New York City, you have a combined weekly audience of, let's say, 50 million Americans at least, and you receive 50,000 letters a week from your teenage fans, which you answer through your Sunday column in This Week magazine. Circulation almost 12 million. Frankie Avalon.
You sneaky devil, you.
Mr. Edwards, I'll always be grateful to Dick for the faith he had in me. And when things weren't going so well, Dick played a record of mine, Dee Dee Dinah, and that was on a Thursday, and on a Monday, I was on my way. So, and also, Dick isn't just a maker of hit records. He's a real good friend and a counselor for teenagers. And he also directed Fabi and me into a career in motion pictures.
You're supposed to be making that motion picture right now. What are you doing here?
Yes, Guns of the Timberland at Warner Brothers right now. Thanks a million, Frankie Avalon. You'll see Dick a little later. America's youngest star maker, Dick Clark. You're born in Mount Vernon, New York on November 30th, 1929, and christened Richard Wagstaff Clark. How you grew up to become at the age of 29. Dick Clark, who's liked and respected by millions of teenagers. I'm sure your mother and father can tell us. And here they are from their home in Utica, New York, Richard A. and Julia Clark. Here's Mom and Dad. Let Mom get on that side of you, Dick. What sort of interest did Dick have as a boy, Ms. Clark?
Oh, Dick always loved music, and he loved being outside. He and the neighborhood children spent hours building tree huts and digging tunnels out in the woods and back of where we lived.
You helped us build one of them once. She got the car out one time and tied a long rope to it to hoist the roof up to a 2-story hut we built.
That's the kind of mother to have, isn't it?
Not too many of these around.
Yeah, and later at Mount Vernon's A.B. Davis High School, Dick, although you're too light for football, not quite fast enough for the track or swimming team, you try out for these sports, and one spring...
I was an all-American failure when it came to
athletics. You win a certain athletic competition, though. What was that? The push-up contest.
Oh, This was the one thing I could do. A friend of mine and I spent many hours practicing push-ups and sit-ups. I don't think I do more than 5 now, but at the time
You still hold the record, I think, there at A.B. Davis. Mr. Clark, was Dick's youth always a happy one?
Oh, for the most part, Ralph. Of course, there were some sad times. He had an older brother, Brad. He loved and admired him very dearly. Brad was quite an athlete. Football and a speed swimmer, and Dick, of course, tried to follow in his footsteps. But after Brad's death in World War II, Dick was a high school freshman then. It did something to him. He was pretty depressed for a long time, but he got over it and decided that he'd have to stand on his own 2 feet. And later he became president of his high school student council.
Thank you both very much. Mr. and Mrs. Clark, for flying out here from Utica, New York to help us honor your splendid son. Here's Fabian.
Never thought you'd lie to me.
How you doing, Dick?
Go away.
I just want to
He
ask.
rode all the way here with me.
Yeah, well...
I just wanted to ask if you needed a babysitter.
What's his babysitting business?
Well, one day the Clarks were stuck for a babysitter, so I volunteered.
He's spoiled, between this fellow here and his grandparents. This child of mine has never been the same. He won't settle for an ordinary babysitter now.
How'd you do with...
Well, I tried to give little Dickie a bubble bath, but I got all bubbles.
This was a sight to see.
must have been something. Full of soap. Fabian, your record, Tiger, sold 180,000 copies within the first week after Dick started it off on American Bandstand. He's a hit maker for sure, eh, Fabian?
Well, Ralph, he's a real wonderful guy, and Dick, I can't tell you how grateful I am for my record sales and my movie contract. Just thanks a million, Dick.
Yes, high school boy, soon to be movie star in the 20th Century Fox Jerry Wald production Hound Dog Man. Thank you, Fabian.
Thanks, There is one very important point that should be made for Frankie and Fabe. I am only one player of records. There are countless thousands of fellas around who do what I do. And I'm sure they give their thanks to them, too. I just happen to know them because they live in my neighborhood and that sort of thing.
They do that, all right. But you weren't at the meeting yesterday when Fabian and Frankie started talking about you. And if we ever let them get up here and talk what they really think about you and how much they appreciate what you've done, just not only as a player of records, but as a counselor, as you've said, and all that, it would take 2 days. And as a grade school boy, Dick, your sense of fun has a bit of happy mischief mixed in it. And one night, while visiting your grandparents in Rome, New York, you're visited by the police. Now, what for?
Yeah, this is, I had a little brush with the authorities. That was the only night I ever got pinched.
How old were you, bud?
Oh, I don't know, about 8 or 9 years old. My cousin and I were making weird noises on the porch.
Yeah.
And it was a great gag to see everybody run down the street after we did this. And
Sure.
we did it to the same person twice, and they finally came and picked us up and scared the daylights out of us. They let us go.
Altogether, though, Dick, your school days are pretty carefree.
Bear with that, Ralph. Dick, do you remember the Green Hornet?
The voice of your pal since childhood. Today, an attorney for the Securities and Exchange Commission in New York City, here from his home in Mount Vernon, New York, is Andy Grass.
Oh, Andrew.
What was this Green Hornet, Andy?
Well, that was a 15-year-old sedan, Ralph, that Dick and I used to have drive around town, pick up records for his record collection.
He owned the front half, and I owned the back half.
Well, he was always looking around for records, wasn't he?
All the time. I think even then he was able to pick a hit record before anybody else.
Well, now, Andy, I expect that car, the Green Hornet, came in handy for double dates, too, didn't it?
Oh, very much so. I remember one in particular, Halloween of 1945, in our junior year. I had a pretty new girl in school with me for my date. It was a girl that Dick hadn't known, but had wanted to meet.
Well, what
This
was...
is a true friend, you know.
Yes. What was that new girl's name, Dick?
Her name was Barbara,
Yeah. And she turned out to be...
my wife.
Yes. You left her at home in Philadelphia day before yesterday. You think, but here she is now, your lovely wife, Barbara Mallory Clark. Here's Bobby.
Thank you. You were talking about a double date, Andrew?
Yeah, what about...
Well, you were my date that night,
Yeah.
but soon after you became Dick's girl for good.
Right. Thank you, Andy Grass, for flying out from Mount Vernon, New York, to tell us how these two fine kids met.
This sneaky devil. I stole his girl and he stole mine because the girl I had been going with, he married eventually.
Is that how that worked out? We'll do Andy's life next week and get Dick on it. Sit down, gang. David Seville. How are you, buddy? Creator of the Chipmunk song, which has already sold 4 million copies.
That's right, Ralph. And I must say that my old buddy here, Dick, had an awful lot to do with the way that song became a success, for which I'm very grateful. Dick, but I want to ask you something. The Chipmunks are growing up, and they'll be teenagers after a while, and they're going to get involved in marriage, I think. And did you and Barbara have any problem while you were in high school about getting married rather than going on to college?
I don't know. We fought this out, I guess, as everybody does, but not too seriously.
Oh.
You both thought probably better to go through college first, is that it?
Oh, I think not only we agreed, but our parents agreed, too. So that made it kind of easy. Everybody was in agreement.
David Seville, thank you for being here with us and seeing your old pal, Bobby. Dick, although you and Bobby here date other people from time to time in high school and college, neither of you is ever serious about anyone else after your meeting. In a moment, we'll learn how a Mount Vernon, New York teenager goes on to become, in 12 short years, the favorite you are today of teenagers all over America. This is your life, Dick Clark. After both you and Dick graduate from high school, Bobby, where did each of you go to college?
Well, Dick went up to Syracuse University in New York, and I went to State Teachers College in Salisbury, Maryland. And when he went to Syracuse, Dick decided to prepare for his career in radio and in television by taking a business administration course and majoring in advertising, and by working at WOLF in Syracuse.
But it isn't all work in your college days, Dick. You take a leading part in campus activities. And also, you do some driving from Syracuse, New York to Salisbury, Maryland, for a good reason. We understand some of those winter trips down to see Bobby were pretty cold. How did you keep warm on the way?
Oh, I had at the time a 1934 Ford convertible that didn't have a heater in it. And this was in the middle of the winter, and it's not a bad drive down there, except this took 17 hours once. I had an old horse blanket in the thing, a hand warmer that you lighted, and I put that in my pocket and wore my galoshes. Youth is wonderful, you could never do this again.
And by the time you graduate from Syracuse University in 1951, Dick, your father's become manager of radio station WRUN in Utica, but not wishing to trade on his name, you get a job as newscaster on Utica station WKTV, using the name Dick
Clay.
You worked there for about a year, gaining valuable experience, and remarkably for a newscaster, a personal following of high school students. Spring 1952, your father agrees with you that the next step in your radio television career ought to be into a larger market area, and he sets up an interview for you with the manager of station WFIL-TV in Philadelphia. And here from his home in that city, where today he's vice president of Triangle Publications Radio and Television Division, is that former manager, Roger Cliff.
I just saw you a few days ago, too.
Always fast coming back. Roger, will you tell us your impression of Dick when he came to see you that day in 1952?
Well, the minute he walked in, Ralph, I thought to myself, we certainly can use this young man. He was well-dressed, clean-cut, polite, a guy knowing where he was going. He gave me the feeling that you could count on him to do a job right. And when he asked me whether there was a radio or television job in the area, I said to him, what about our station?
You arranged for him to be auditioned that same day. And now here from Philadelphia, where today he's program and production manager at WFIL-TV and also executive producer of American Bandstand, is the man who directed Dick's audition, Lou Klein. Here's Lou. How did Dick's audition go there, Lou?
Dick was nervous and excited and impressed when he came to WFIL, and yet he had a quiet, confident manner about him. When he walked in, he brought with him his own script for a news show, a soup commercial, and a little write-up about himself. Dick was certainly a young man who knew where he was going and how to get there.
And I was scared to death.
Everybody liked him, and of course he got the job.
Which is a lesson for all young people in search of jobs. Come prepared. Thank you, Roger Cliff and Lou Klein, for taking time out to fly here from Philadelphia to give us this insight into Dick's character. Dick, you'll see Roger and Lou and all the gang later at the party in your honor at the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel, where your family and out-of-town friends have been staying. Andy Williams. Sit down there, Andy and Dick. Yeah, what happened to the panel? They're coming in.
You know, Ralph, my record of Hawaiian Wedding Song has sold pretty close to 1 million now.
True.
And I don't think that Dick's playing it hurt at all. Incidentally, I think I was one of the very first performers to appear on Dick's American Bandstand program a couple of years ago. But Dick really started on WFIL in May of 1952, doing announcing and commercials. And about six weeks after he started, I think if Hawaiian Wedding Song had been popular then, it would have been very appropriate for Dick.
Yes, Dick, the moment you feel secure in your new job, you get out your trusty old car and head for Bobby's home in Salisbury, Maryland, and a June wedding in 1952.
And Dick was so busy those few weeks before the wedding with his new job that I had to buy my own wedding ring.
It looks like a goodbye, too. I think it's going to be on there for a long time.
Thank you, Andy Williams, for being here tonight, and good luck on your new Andy Williams show on another network this summer.
Good luck to you. You know, how you got all of these people are working constantly and they're making movies. He's got his own show. How did you get a hold of them?
They came for you. And the difficult thing was to keep it away from you because you were here in the NBC studios, you see, and we had to really do some scallywagging.
They had me running around like a fool. We got what they call a
You should have been doing
telecast.
push-ups, you know. That's in June 1956, go ahead, you were saying about the special telecast.
No, we got a special telecast that comes up on June 28th, and they've been having me work on that in a movie and so forth. So, and this was kind of extra added, and I couldn't figure out how we were going to get everything done in 2 days and go back to work.
In June 1956, you're assigned the job of Master of Ceremonies of WFIL's local television record show, American Bandstand, which immediately gains great popularity in the Philadelphia area. So much so that teenagers monopolize their sets at home and line up at the station hours ahead of showtime to watch and take part in the program. The amazed and delighted higher-ups noticed this, and Roger Cliff is successful in getting the network to try it nationally in August 1957. And its phenomenal success since then is television history. Dick, how did you feel when you first went on the network?
Gee, I had been on the network once before, Ralph, doing commercials on Paul Whiteman's television show. That's right. But I had never been on all by myself with, my own program. I was scared to death.
In 1958, the network inaugurates, in addition, the equally successful Saturday night Dick Clark show, New York City. And in the midst of all this, as though there isn't enough excitement in your life, you become a father. On January 9th, 1957, Bobby presents you with Richard Augustus Clark II. Connie Francis.
Hi. You're a sneaky devil, you.
Connie, last year you were voted #1 female vocalist in both the United States and Europe. And following the great success of your record, Who's Sorry Now, and since that record, you've had 7 consecutive other hits. We understand Dick Clark had something to do with all
Well,
this.
I just about say he had everything to do with it,
We're
Ralph.
good luck to one another,
We
I think.
sure are. You know, I've been singing for about 11 years, Ralph. And New Year's Day of 1958, I'd been recording for 2.5 years, and nothing had ever happened with any of my records. And I was feeling very, very discouraged. And I went into the living room and turned on American Bandstand. And Dick Clark was playing Who's Sorry Now for the very first time. And he continued to play it for 30 days thereafter. And within 2 months, it had sold over 1 million records, all because of the push that he gave it. It's the truth. You know, it makes no difference to Dick who you are, but what you are. He's a beautiful man. And I think that just about everybody in the business says that we love him very, very much.
Thank you, Connie Francis, for flying from your home in Bloomfield, New Jersey to be with us.
She's an amazing young lady, Ralph, because as you know, there are not too many new, young, successful female vocalists, and she's just about the hottest thing there is around.
Certainly is. And your past has been filled with music, Dick, and it's a good bet your future will be, too. Dick, here are 2 more important men in your life speaking about that baby. Another Dick Clark, Richard Augustus II. In the arms of your friend from Philadelphia, the producer of American Bandstand, come in Dickie and Tony Mamarella. Tony and Tono.
What are you doing? I'm walking around on the floor?
Yeah.
Oh, my. Ralph, you know, one thing about Dick, it's the respect and the affection that the young people have for him.
You know, sometimes the crowd can get really out of hand, but they listen to Dick. And just a couple of weeks ago, when we were up in New England, Dick saw a girl who was in the crush of the crowd, wanting to get his autograph and whatnot, and he stepped off the bandstand very calmly, and he just walked over, got the young lady, brought her back, and just asked all the kids. The PA system had conked out. Asked all the kids if they just wouldn't kind of hold off, and for him, they do.
You bet they do. Dick, Prell wants you to have this 16-millimeter Bell & Howell sound projector and electric eye movie camera, together with a film of this program for your future enjoyment. And Prell has asked Marshall Jewelers of Fifth Avenue, New York, to design these gold cufflinks for you right here. Oh, that's the charm bracelets. That's for you. Marshall wants you to have that, Bobby. Charms depicting events in your and Dick's life. Dick, you may sit there. Just sit down, Dick, if you want, old pal. And I'm the boss on this show. You understand? I mean, I get out those records and all that kind of stuff. Prell also, Dick, has had Marshall design this Dick Clark Trophy at Barb Warren showing you, with places for 23 names, which is to be awarded in your name for the next 23 years to the president of the Student Council of the A.B. Davis High School in Mount Vernon, New York. Your old job. And finally, Prell has commissioned the well-known artist, David Immerman, to paint this portrait of Dickie for you. There you are. Oh, there you are. Television headliner, star maker, family man, friend and champion of American teenagers, Dick Clark, this is your life. Good night. God bless you, Dick. Thank you very much.
Our out-of-town guests have flown to Hollywood via TWA's luxurious Jetstream non-stop service, coast to coast and overseas. Fly the finest. Fly TWA Jetstream service.
Dickie, did you enjoy the program? You did? Did you? Good boy. Good boy. Next week, ladies and gentlemen, This Is Your Life brings you the first of 13 shows you've asked to see again. Ann Blythe, the Hollywood star who's devoting her time and energies to the betterment of her fellow man. I'm sure you'll want to see that one again, as well as your other favorites of past This Is Your Life seasons. Steve Allen, Justice William E. Powers, Ambassador Carlos Romulo, many others. All the shows you've asked for. So tell your friends about it. Don't miss a single one of them yourself. I'll see you next week then, along with Ann Blythe. Until then, good night. Thank you. Thank you, Dick.
This Is Your Life is a Ralph Edwards production. Produced by Axel Gruenberg and directed by Richard Gottlieb. Be sure to watch Loretta Young on most of these same stations every Sunday night.